Hi everyone, Monica Bodirski here. How are you doing? I'm coming to you from the Shadowland studio today, where I create a great deal of artwork and do a lot of writing. I spent a full year, my goodness, as a lot of you have, kind of in the confines of a very small space, trying to avoid infection, and also because I've been on a lot of deadlines. Sometimes those things work out really well. I'm grateful that I could work here and didn't have to commute. But it's been a difficult time, I think, for everyone. Whether you're right in the front lines, those people, of course, have put up with the most, and people who've lost family members to COVID and who've gotten sick themselves, really terrible. This is not the flu. It is a very deadly virus. I'm very grateful that we are having vaccines and that things seem to be opening up and people are coming back out again and starting to live. We're also coming up to the summer solstice this weekend, Monday, sort of between Sunday and Monday. And I thought it might be a good idea to do a quick check-in and pull a couple of tarot cards as a general message for you all who happen to be watching this video and catching it. This message is for you. So, I always pull cards at the summer solstice and the winter solstice. Well, okay, I pull cards all the time. That doesn't really apply. But I tend to take a lot more time because when the day is longest, I feel that it's a real turning point and a real transition. I follow an earth-based spiritual practice and I'm very close to nature and the elements, and it has a real pull for me to look at celebrating the past year as the light was waxing or increasing, and oh my goodness, hard to believe, it is for me, blink and it's gone. Already from the solstice on, the days are becoming shorter gradually, until we hit in the northern hemisphere, maybe October, November, depending on where you are, leading up to the shortest day in December, and then starting to wax again. So, being someone who embraces shadows and light, I'm enjoying going into the darker half of the year, but with the idea that these are things that I would like to wane with the light, things that I would like to see decreased, like anti-Black racism, denial of Indigenous sovereign rights, transphobia, those sorts of things. And that's on a broader scale. And, of course, for COVID to just vanish, which it isn't likely to do, but that's another thing. Illness and all the problems that it's caused. On an internal level and a much more of a microcosm, I would like to decrease some of the self-defeating thoughts maybe I have, get rid of limitations I think I have, just negative thoughts in general. They're going to decrease with the light decreasing. That's sort of how I work with shadows and light. Then when light comes up again, I move towards increasing wonderful things. So, let's pull 3 cards, and yes, of course, please use the spread at will to pull your own 3 cards. But for those of you watching right now, I'd like to give you this reading. Of course, I am using the Shadowland Tarot. And I've already shuffled the deck, and I'm just going to flip the first 3 cards here and take a look at those. The first card I have is the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles is giving you advice, the first card, on what to increase in your life for the solstice. And think about how it has increased over the past, 6 months. These are things leading up to the longest day. Your skills apparently have improved immensely. These are real life skills. This is Pentacles, it's the earth element, and they're real world applied skills, like learning how to use Zoom, like learning how to adapt to being in a tight physical space, learning that you can't eat your way out of a pandemic. Perhaps maybe you've acquired the skill of moderation somehow in all of this. These are skills, very sincerely, all joking aside, these are skills you've acquired, and I'd like you to take a look at what those skills are, because that has brought you to this point in time. Okay, the next card is, or card number 2, is what is going to be the main focus of what you should diminish as the light is diminishing. And not surprisingly, no, I do not stack the deck, actually. The 10 of Swords has come up. What I was just saying about self-defeating thoughts, the hurts and pains that you've suffered, work on letting go of those. It's been a really tough time for everybody, and maybe this has brought up a lot of deep wounds from the past that had nothing to do with the pandemic, but you've had so much time to, well, think things over that it's brought this up for you. So work towards removing those hurts and pains. Work on letting those words, because this is swords, they're not just thoughts and air and communication, they're also words that have hurt you, or maybe that you've said to others that have been hurtful or intolerant. Let go of all of that. You always have tomorrow. You can start over again. If it doesn't work right away, well, let this be a thought of what you want to diminish over the next 6 months. That's doable. Every day, give it a try. When you have those negative thoughts or pains or hurts, acknowledge them. They're real. They're not just in your head, but then let them go. Breathe in, feel it, and release it. And send it back out into the universe. Recycle it. You don't need it anymore. So try to let go of that. Got a few things I can think of myself. And the third card you're going to pull, if you're trying this on your own, and that I pulled, is, well, transitioning back into a world that is beginning to move and travel and be active again. This is something to keep in mind over the next 6 months. You already know that you've built up skills up to this point, that you're going to work on releasing negativity. So this is an additional skill for you, which happens to be the Hermit. Now you may be saying, I just spent this whole time as a hermit. What the heck? Well, this is understanding that you've been forced to not live the normal life that you've been living due to isolation and what's occurred. So keep that in mind, that you may need to re-enter society a little more slowly. We all want to bust out and say, yeah, get the barbecue going. I'm going to see 1,000 people. I don't know. Depends how isolated you were. I was pretty isolated, so seeing a couple of people a week might do me for now until I kind of ease my way back into it. And if you're an empath and you've enjoyed a little bit of isolation away from all of the pain and suffering that you feel from others on a daily commute or wherever you were working, you know what? You got to take it real easy. You got to look at the positive side of what being a hermit can do. And hopefully this giant reset is letting you, well, appreciate alone time a little more, and you're going to build into your schedule a little bit more time for you to hermit moving forward. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Wishing you all a really happy solstice filled with celebration. Enjoy all that sunlight and the sunshine coming up for the next little while, even as the light starts to decrease. Again, thanks Thanks for being here and for your support. And remember to leave your thoughts and feelings about the solstice, maybe about being isolated, how you've dealt, moving forward, anything you'd like to say. I'd like to hear it. You know what? When you share, others read the comments and maybe they don't feel so isolated. So thanks for sharing with them as well. Don't forget, you can also catch, well, a few readings, maybe a couple a week at least, on IGTV just during the week, and also any kind of product or class information. I have a few new classes brewing, so if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter on my website, please do. Thanks so much, everyone, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.